Good morning, students. Today I am going to start the explanation of the lesson Princess September from the book It So Happened. Princess September, like each one of her numerous sisters, receives the gift of a parrot in a golden cage on her father's birthday. The parrot dies, and by chance, a singing bird comes in its place. The princess shows off her pet to the sisters who advise her to put it in a cage. So, in this story, we will discover what happens when the princess September puts the singing bird in a cage. The king and queen of Siam had many daughters, and the queen said that it confused her to have to remember so many names. One day, the king decided to call them January, February, March, though of course in Siamese. So it was becoming very difficult for the king and queen to remember the names of their daughters. So they found out an easier way and named the daughters the month of an year, like January, February, March, of course in their own language, which was Siamese, till he came to the youngest, whom he called September. The king of Siam had a peculiar habit. Peculiar means strange. Instead of receiving gifts on his birthday, he gave them. One year on his birthday, not having anything else handy, it means not anything else available, he gave each of his daughters a green parrot in a golden cage. The princesses were very proud of the parrots, and they spent an hour every day in teaching them to talk. The princesses were very delighted to get the parrots as the return gifts, and they used to teach them how to talk. Presently, all the parrots could say, God save the king, and some of them could say, Pretty Polly, in no less than 7 Oriental languages. Oriental means related to Asia. So they could speak Pretty Polly in different languages. But one day, when Princess September went to say good morning to her parrot, she found it lying dead at the bottom of its golden cage. The parrot of Princess September had died. She burst into a flood of tears, and nothing that her maids of honor could say comforted her. So their words were wastage, as she was crying terribly. She cried so much that the maids of honor, not knowing what to do, told the queen, and the queen said it was stuff and nonsense, and the child had better go to bed without any supper. The maids of honor informed the condition of the princess to the queen, and that day the princess had to go without any supper. It means she had to sleep without having the last meal of the day. Why? Because she was sad. The maids of honor wanted to go to a party, so they put Princess September to bed as quickly as they could and left her by herself. So she was alone, as all the maids of honor had left for the party to attend. And while she lay in her bed, crying still even though she felt rather hungry, she saw a little bird hop into her room. Now she wiped her tears and sat up. Then the little bird began to sing, and he sang a beautiful song all about the lake in the king's garden, and the willow trees that looked at themselves in the still water, and the goldfish that glided in and out of the branches that were reflected in it. So the little bird started singing beautiful song about the lake, about the willow trees, about the goldfish. So the song was based on nature. When he had finished, the princess was not crying anymore, and she quite forgot that she had no supper. Initially, the princess was feeling hungry, but after listening to the song of the little bird, she forgot her hunger. That was a very nice song, she said. The little bird gave her a bow. Would you care to have me in place of your parrot? So the little bird was aware that the princess parrot had died, and he asked the princess, would she care to have him in place of her parrot, said the little bird. It's true that I am not so pretty to look at, but on the other hand, I have a much better voice. Princess September clapped her hands with delight, and then the little bird hopped onto the end of her bed and sang her to sleep. Princess September became very happy and she went to sleep. When she awoke next day, the little bird was still there. And as she opened her eyes, he said, "Good morning." The maids of honor brought in her breakfast, and he ate rice out of her hand, and he had his bath in her saucer. So Princess September started taking care of the little bird. She started feeding her, she started giving her a bath in her saucer. He began to sing again so beautifully that the maids of honor were quite surprised, for they had never heard anything like it. And Princess September was very proud and happy. She was very proud, she was very happy because nobody had seen a bird like him. "Now I want to show you to my 8 sisters," said the princess. Now, this was the biggest mistake she committed, and she decided to show the little bird to her 8 sisters. She stretched out the first finger of her right hand so that it served as a perch. Perch means as a place to sit, and the little bird flew down and sat on it. So the little bird flew and he sat on the finger of her right hand. Then, followed by her maids of honor, she went through the palace and called on each of the princesses. And for each of them, the little bird sang a different song. But the parrots could only say, "God save the king" and "Pretty Polly." So the little bird sang different songs to different princesses, but the parrots could only say these two phrases, "God save the king" and "Pretty Polly." At last, she showed the little bird to the king and the queen. They were surprised and delighted. So they became very happy. "I knew I was right to send you to bed without any supper," said the queen. So the queen said that I knew I was right to send you to bed without the last meal of the day. This bird sings much better than the parrots. The king said that this bird is one of its kind. So the king was also happy. "I should have thought you got quite tired of hearing people say 'God save the king,'" said the queen. "I can't think why those girls wanted to teach their parents to say it too." So the queen said these words to the king, and he told him that he must be very tired of hearing people say "God save the king." And she said that she found it strange that the girls, the princesses, also want to teach the parents to say the same words. "The sentiment is admirable," means praiseworthy, said the king, "and I never mind how often I hear it. I love to hear it. But I do get tired of hearing those parrots say 'Pretty Polly.'" So the king told the queen that he was not tired of hearing the words "God save the king," but he was tired of hearing the words "Pretty Polly." "They say it in 7 different languages," said the princesses. The princesses said, "But they say the same words in 7 different languages. If you are tired of hearing the word "Pretty Polly," then you can hear it in different languages." "I dare say they do," said the king, "but it reminds me too much of my counselors. They say the same thing in 7 different ways, and it never means anything in any way they say it." So the king said that my counselors also speak the same things in different languages, but they never mean it. So students, this was the explanation of the first part of the lesson, Princess September. If you have any doubt in this part, you can ask. Thank you.